Italy, where history lives in every corner, coffee is an art form, and la dolce vita isn't just a phrase, it's a way of life. From hidden cheese banks to women who redefine elegance, here are 15 mind-blowing facts about Europe's most enchanting boot-shaped country. 15. Italy, the boot-shaped country. Located in southern Europe, Italy, the boot-shaped country, is surrounded by both sea and mountains. In the north, the Alps offer a unique experience where you can go skiing in the morning and take a swim in the sea by afternoon. Italy also completely encloses two independent countries, Vatican City and San Marino. With an area of around 301,000 square kilometers, smaller than the state of California, Italy still boasts a remarkable 55 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the most in the world. It's the definition of small but mighty. Everywhere you go, you're stepping into history. From temperate climates in the north to the Mediterranean feel in the south, Italy has it all. You can ski in the Alps in the morning, then swim in the Amalfi Coast by afternoon. The sunshine is bright but never harsh. It's the kind of weather made for dressing well and living slow. As of December 2024, Italy's population was about 60 million, with over 90% being ethnic Italians. But within that, there's a rich mix of regional identities. Sicilians are nothing like Milanese, just like pizza is nothing like a hamburger. One standout group is the Sardinians, known worldwide for their longevity. Sardinia is one of the places with the highest number of people living past 100. Here, the main language is Italian. It sounds like poetry and flows like music, but each region has its own dialect. Travel just a few dozen kilometers and people might sound like they're speaking a totally different language. 14. Italy has a bank that stores Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. In Italy, people don't just deposit money into banks, they also deposit Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. It sounds like a joke, but it's 100% real and deliciously serious. There's a bank that actually stores these cheese masterpieces as if they were solid gold. In the Emilia-Romagna region, the birthplace of Parmigiano Reggiano, the cheese often called the king of all cheeses, local farmers can bring their 40-kilogram wheels of cheese to the cheese bank as a form of collateral. Each wheel is worth thousands of euros and increases in value over time, much like fine wine or apple stock. Every cheese wheel has a unique serial number and must pass strict quality inspections. But don't mistake this for just a cold storage room. This bank is climate controlled with regulated humidity, and even comes with insurance against theft and natural disasters. Just like a real treasure vault. One walk through the cheese shelves and you might feel like you've entered Italy's version of Fort Knox, only it smells like rich, aged cheese and makes you slightly hungry. This isn't just a bank. It's a symbol of how Italians honor tradition, turn food into assets, and transform their love of cuisine into a full-fledged economic system. In the US, we invest in tech. In Italy, they invest in cheese.
If you've ever seen an Italian woman walking through a square in Florence, chances are you've never forgotten it. A simple dress, oversized sunglasses, red lipstick, high heels, a leather bag, and that confident gaze that says, "I know I'm beautiful." Italian women don't follow trends, they create them. It's like Fashion Week runs 365 days a year. They often have glowing, sun-kissed skin, thick hair, expressive eyes, and that effortlessly charming smile. Italian women carry themselves with the grace of someone who knows their worth. They take care of themselves and look stunning anywhere, anytime. To Americans, it might seem like they just stepped off a Milan runway, but really, they're just out shopping for tomatoes at the morning market. Even at the dinner table, they look amazing. For them, beauty is a part of everyday life, not to show off, but to live fully. Italian women speak loudly, laugh freely, live honestly, and never hold back their emotions. They can passionately debate with their husband 1 minute and flash a big smile at their child the next. They love like there's no tomorrow and argue like they're defending a PhD thesis. It's rare to find women so powerful yet so alluring. They're smart, emotionally intuitive, and deeply loyal. In love, they make men feel strong, needed, and protected, without ever losing themselves. They inspire, not shadow. Modern Italian women are becoming more open to dating, befriending, and marrying foreigners. They appreciate freshness, elegance, and genuine respect from men of other cultures, as long as the man is confident, stylish, and sincere. In fact, many tourists and expats in Italy end up marrying Italian women after getting to know them.
Did you know Italy holds the record for the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites on the planet? But what makes it truly special is this: in Italy, heritage isn't locked behind glass. It's something you walk on, sit on, and pass through every single day. Just strolling through Rome means walking through thousands of years of history. Right in the heart of Rome's historic center stands the Colosseum, the legendary Roman amphitheater where over 50,000 spectators once roared in excitement more than 2,000 years ago. Though centuries have passed, the towering stone walls still remain, telling the story of an empire that once ruled Europe. The most awe-inspiring part? You can actually sit on the cold stone steps and imagine those ancient battles. It feels like touching time itself. Leave Rome and head to Pisa to see one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's part of the Piazza del Duomo complex, which also includes a stunning cathedral and baptistery. The tilt, once thought of as a construction flaw, became its charm, attracting visitors from around the world. And there's even an unofficial tourist ritual, the classic photo of holding up the Leaning Tower with one hand. Then there's Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance. It feels like a living museum, where every step might lead you to a masterpiece by Michelangelo, Botticelli, or Brunelleschi. From the striking red dome of the Florence Cathedral to the bridges over the dreamy Arno River, Florence is a haven for lovers of classic beauty and quiet elegance. In northwestern Italy you'll find Cinque Terre, 5 colorful little villages clinging to cliffs that overlook the jewel-blue sea. No malls, no cars, just narrow streets, local fishermen, and watercolor-worthy rooftops. Each village sings its own peaceful love song to the Ligurian breeze. And don't miss the Amalfi Coast, the southern coastline that looks like a summer dream come true. Towns like Positano, Ravello, and Amalfi nestle into the cliffs with pastel houses stacked like a chorus of color. Just one afternoon with a glass of white wine, watching the sun dip into the Mediterranean, and you'll understand why so many hearts are lost to this place. Visiting or living in Italy, you might arrive with just a suitcase, but when you leave, you'll be carrying a treasure full of memories, feelings, and maybe even a dream of living more beautifully. Venice isn't just a city, it's a dream floating on water. Made up of 118 islands, over 150 canals, and around 400 bridges, Venice is the kind of place where even Google Maps gets confused. Here there are no cars. Instead, people travel by gondola, by vaporetto, the water bus, or simply wander on foot through winding, centuries-old stone paths that feel like a labyrinth from another time. What makes it so special? Absolute silence. No honking, no traffic, no fumes, just the gentle splash of oars in the water and the soft sounds drifting from open squares scattered across the islands. Walking in Venice feels like drifting through a watercolor painting. Pastel buildings reflected in the canals, flower-covered balconies, and a salty sea breeze weaving through every narrow alley. Each year, millions of visitors come to Venice. And yet even if you've seen 1,000 pictures online, nothing compares to stepping into it for the first time. Venice isn't just to be seen, it's meant to be felt. Through your feet on the slick stone, the mist rising from the canals against your skin, your heart fluttering to the sound of a violin in the square at sunset. Venice isn't a place to rush through, it's not a place for shallow moments. It's a place to surrender yourself to, just like the water that's carried this city through the centuries. Most of us have probably heard of Italian coffee, that tiny cup with a global reputation. And if you're a coffee lover, get ready. Italy will surprise you, charm you, and sometimes leave you a little confused. First off, don't expect to find a Starbucks on every charming old piazza. Instead, you'll find bars, not bars with alcohol, though they have that too, but local cafes where Italians drink coffee like it's a morning ritual. And forget those giant American coffees. Here, an espresso fits in the palm of your hand, but it packs a bold, rich flavor, strong enough to wake up even the rainiest day. One of the most beautiful traditions in Italian coffee culture is the caffè sospeso, the suspended coffee. It's when you pay for 2 coffees but only drink one. The second cup stays on hold for someone less fortunate or anyone having a rough day. A small gesture but as warm as that steaming shot of espresso. And strangely enough, no matter where you get it, a train station, a gas station, even a hospital, espresso still tastes amazing. Some places even have vending machines that brew fresh espresso, and surprisingly, it's still good. There are machines offering 10 types of espresso. Just press a button. Fast, convenient, and totally Italian. There's even a national competition in Italy for aspiring coffee masters. The winner represents the country at the World Barista Championship, a global coffee showdown. So if you're visiting Italy, don't miss the chance to enjoy an espresso and soak in the culture and character that come with every cup. Italians don't spend 30 minutes eating breakfast like in many other countries. They walk into a bar, yes, in Italy a bar is where you get coffee, stand at the counter, drink a hot espresso in under 2 minutes, eat a sweet pastry like a cornetto, and disappear like a ninja. Super quick, super simple, super Italian. But in contrast to that speedy breakfast by afternoon or evening, Italians can sit for 2 hours sipping a single cappuccino. Try ordering a cappuccino after 11 a.m. And you might get a gentle smile, because in Italy, milk-based coffee is for mornings. Adults usually stick to espresso in the afternoon, believing milk after a meal feels too heavy. It's a cultural habit passed down through generations. Another thing, Italians eat dinner late, usually after 8 p.m., and in cities like Rome or Naples, sometimes not until 9. Dinner is a relaxed affair filled with laughter, light wine, warm lights, and conversations that never rush. And when it's time to leave, don't expect a quick goodbye like in the US. After dinner, the Italian farewell includes a hug, then a handshake, then a few more stories. Sometimes you'll be halfway out the door and come back in for one last laugh. For Italians, saying goodbye is part of the love, and they never rush through that. In Italy, everything has style. They live slowly, deeply, and with flair. That's why people say, come to Italy not just to see the sights, but to watch how they live. And before you know it, you'll want to live that way too. Life in Italy isn't a race, it's jazz, unscripted, smooth, and full of style. Italians don't live in a rush, they live slowly, beautifully, and most importantly with soul. Living slow doesn't mean being lazy, it means being intentional. Italians choose to enjoy lunch like it's a celebration. They choose to stroll cobblestone streets instead of speeding through life. Here, life is a series of conscious choices, from dressing well every day, even if it's just to buy bread, to making time for real conversations, not through a screen but through eye contact and a genuine smile. Living beautifully, it's not about wealth, it's about turning the ordinary into something full of charm, like a silk scarf casually tied around the neck of a stylish 70-year-old woman, or the way a dinner table is set in Italy. Even a simple plate of pasta looks like it belongs on a magazine cover, and it's not to show off, it's because they believe life is something worth making beautiful. And living with soul? Just watch an Italian riding a Vespa in a crisp white shirt, Ray-Ban sunglasses, a cigarette in his mouth, and you'll get it. He's not trying to be cool, he just is. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows what matters, loving beauty, respecting the rhythm of life, and knowing when to pause to savor the moment. In Italy, people don't count life in deadlines, they measure it in golden sunsets over terracotta roofs, laughter echoing from the dinner table, and maybe that's what true wealth really looks like. In Italy, it's not unusual at all to walk into a home and find 3 generations living under one roof, parents, grandparents, and kids, each with their own rhythm, but sharing the same heartbeat of family life. While many countries see moving out at 18 as a sign of adulthood, in Italy it's completely normal for adult children to stay with their parents until 28, even 30. There's a famous Italian saying, "La famiglia è tutto," family is everything. It's not just a place to come back to, but a full-on support system, financially and emotionally. Living at home longer doesn't mean a lack of independence. It reflects deep family bonds and a belief that home is the safest place to prepare for the future. What's interesting is that even while living at home, Italian young adults still enjoy full, active social lives. They work, study, date, travel, but in the evening they come home to mom's cooking, do laundry with the family washing machine, and occasionally complain that the Wi-Fi is too slow. This cultural norm is very different from what we're used to in the US or other parts of Europe. So what do you think about this lifestyle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Vespa, the iconic Italian scooter. In Italy, you don't need a watch. Just listen for the sound of a Vespa zipping by. That little scooter isn't just a way to get around, it's a living symbol of Italian style, classic, charming, and just a bit rebellious. To Americans used to wide highways and SUVs that feel like tanks, seeing a Vespa weave through cobblestone streets might feel like stepping into a European rom-com. But in Italy, that's everyday life. Just missing Sophia Loren waving from the back seat. A Vespa isn't just transportation, it's a lifestyle statement. It's how Italians say, I love freedom, I love coffee, and I don't have time to look for parking. In cities like Rome, Florence, or Naples, Vespas are hands down the most practical and stylish way to get around. And here's a fun twist. In the US, people honk out of frustration. In Italy, they honk to say, I'm coming through, make a little space, thanks, and have a great day. On a Vespa, you're not just commuting, you're making an entrance. And in a country where even a cappuccino comes with rules, don't be surprised that scooters carry a piece of the national soul. One-third of Italians rarely use the internet. While the rest of the world is buried in TikTok, running meetings on Zoom and ordering pizza with a tap, there's one European country where things are slow enough to forget the Wi-Fi password: Italy. Believe it or not, nearly one-third of Italians barely use the internet. Not because they don't have smartphones, but because they have something stronger than 5G, a lifestyle rooted in the present moment. In Italy, for many older adults, and even some younger ones, the internet isn't a necessity, it's a choice. They still read the newspaper, call loved ones to say happy birthday, instead of sending a text, actually know their neighbors' names, not just their usernames. Italians might not be online all day, but they still live life to the fullest. They choose la dolce vita over doom scrolling. While others chase viral trends, Italians have village festivals. And the older folks? Instead of learning Zoom, they're in the piazza playing chess, watching pigeons, and having deep conversations about life. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by 1,000 unread notifications, remember, somewhere in Italy someone is happily offline. And maybe, just maybe, they're the ones truly connected to what matters. Music and opera are Italy's deepest pride. When it comes to Italian music, nothing shines brighter than opera. Italy isn't just the birthplace of opera, it has raised it like a national treasure. For Italians, opera isn't something distant or reserved for elites, as some Americans might assume. It's storytelling, it's emotion, it's pure drama. And when you see a live performance under the stars at the Arena di Verona with 20,000 people soaking in music that shakes the sky, opera in Italy will give you goosebumps, even if you don't understand a single word. In a country where even yelling has melody, it's no surprise to find a vegetable vendor humming like Pavarotti while weighing your produce, a kid belting out a classical tune mid-gelato, and here's the beautiful part. Some of Italy's grand opera houses still offer tickets for just 10 to 15 euros because they believe great art should never be limited by someone's wallet. So if you've ever thought opera was too fancy or only for the upper class, come to Italy. Here, music lives among the people. And sometimes, one perfect note echoing through a train station is enough to make you feel like you're standing in the heart of the art world. Every region in Italy is like its own culinary universe. In Rome you have authentic carbonara, no cream involved, despite what many Americans think. Just eggs, pecorino romano cheese, black pepper, and guanciale, which is cured pork cheek. It's rich but not heavy, simple but sophisticated. In Bologna there's tagliatelle al ragu, the original version of what Americans know as spaghetti bolognese. The difference? It's slow cooked for hours, not fast and furious from a jar. And pizza? Meet pizza napoletana, a UNESCO-recognized cultural treasure. It has a thin, bubbly crust, wood-fired at 485 degrees Celsius, or 905 degrees Fahrenheit. The dough is cold-proofed for 72 hours, and the cheese is made from buffalo milk. Each pizza is a smoky masterpiece, a form of art that can't be mass-produced. Whether it's pizza or pasta, Italians enjoy it with a glass of wine, not to get drunk, but to savor. A sip of red wine rounds out the flavor, stretches out the conversation, and makes the meal feel timeless. Other regional stars include risotto alla Milanese in Milan, golden with saffron, the world's most expensive spice, cooked in beef broth, not water. Creamy, warm, elegant, like a classical symphony in the heart of a modern city. And let's not forget lasagna, layers of history and flavor, fresh pasta, rich ragu, bechamel sauce and melted cheese, like a warm blanket on a cold Italian winter day. Every region has its own spin, but the original from Emilia-Romagna is still the undisputed star. If Italy were a classical symphony, its festivals would be the notes that make your heart skip a beat. First up, the Venice Carnival, where even Hollywood can't compete with the drama and elegance. Held every February, this festival turns Venice into a Renaissance fairy tale, with people donning lavish costumes, mysterious masks, and living like nobles for a few magical days. Sounds wild? For a moment, no one knows who's who. A CEO might be dressed as a street musician and someone homeless could be playing a count. Americans love this festival not just for its cinematic beauty but for the thrill of wearing a mask and living freely, like a character in an art film. One tourist joked, "Venice is the only place where I dressed like a queen and no one asked what I was doing." Then there's Infiorata, the ultimate flower festival. Americans might call it flower art on steroids. Taking place in May and June in cities like Spello and Genzano, entire streets are transformed into giant floral carpets with intricate designs depicting religious icons, artwork, and even pop culture. One year they made Lady Gaga out of flowers. Who says Italy doesn't keep up with trends? The strange part? These massive works of floral art only last a few hours. By tradition, locals walk over them during a grand procession. Some find it sad, but it's all part of the celebration. If you want us to share more awesome Italian festivals, drop a comment with the number 2. If you've ever dreamed of living in the land of pizza, Vespas, and sun-drenched piazzas, good news, that dream might cost a lot less than you think. The cost of living in Italy is about 40 to 50% lower than in the US, depending on your lifestyle. Renting a cozy apartment on the outskirts of Florence or Bologna costs 380 to 520 euros per month. In city centers it's 500 to 600 euros per month. Utilities like electricity, water and gas are 60 to 80 euros per month. High-speed internet is 30 euros per month. Transportation, public transport including trains, buses and metros, is 28 to 35 euros per month for a pass. Bike rental is less than 45 euros per month, and you literally pedal through history. Food shop at local markets, buy seasonal veggies, and cook like a true Italian for 165 to 280 euros per month. You'll be full, and maybe gaining weight. Eating out. Casual meals are 2 to 5 euros, and nicer restaurants are 10 to 15 euros per meal. Other costs: gym membership is 30 to 40 euros per month, a dentist checkup is 35 to 40 euros, personal expenses are 150 to 230 euros per month. Total, you could live the Italian dream, complete with fine food, bold coffee, and golden sunsets, for around 780 to 1,450 euros per month. With costs like that, would you choose to live here? If yes, comment 1. If not, choose 0. And if you want us to share how to get a visa for Italy, just leave a yes below. We've got all the info ready for you. We've just explored 15 unique and astonishing facts about Italy together. We hope this has given you a fresh perspective on this incredible country. Don't forget to follow our channel, like, and share the video to support us. See you in the next adventure.